Dating apps are a big part of our lives. Everyone is on them. So why would you not use them? The amount of people you have access to in your life is very limited. This is your average social circle. This is your reach of influence. And this is the amount of people in your community. And then, this is the amount of people on dating apps. If you have access to so many people, why not take advantage? Who knows, you might find the love of your life. This begs the question, why when we have access to this many people, are we lonelier and sadder than ever?
Dating apps keep people locked in an endless cycle of matches and rejections.
You begin to treat other people not as people, but as objects or as options.
It reduces us to objects. You are shopping for humans.
Tinder users generally reported lower levels of satisfaction with their faces and bodies than did their non-swiping counterparts.
Top 78% of women are fighting over the top 20% of men.
In their interest to keep you interested in seeing dating as a game and an ongoing game.
Girls in your town. Girls. Sign up, you can meet girls.
What's the reason we are more single than ever? These apps should be connecting us. So why are we so disconnected? We need to have a conversation about these apps and how they operate, with their practices shrouded in mystery, needing a deeper dive. Are you ready as we explore the truth about dating apps? You've been single for a while and you're a busy person. You don't have time to waste, but you want to find the one. So what's the natural conclusion? Dating apps. You have instant access to so many people and it saves you a lot of time. So you go on the app and make a profile and voila, access to so many people. And guess what? They're all attractive. You start swiping, you can't get enough. So many people and they're all your type. The likes, the matches, they're just rolling in. You think to yourself, why didn't I do this before? This initial surge of likes and matches when you join the app is commonly referred to as a newbie boost. The app has no data on you, so it shows you to a wide variety of people, trying to accumulate any data it can about you, trying to find common grounds between your swiping patterns, so it can customize the people shown to you. This is where they get you. They have two incentives for giving you a boost. They're trying to get data so they can personalize the people you are shown, and they're trying to get you hooked. The boost gets you a lot of matches and a lot of likes, and it creates this rush of dopamine, stroking your ego, validating it. If they get you hooked, what does it mean? You stay on the app. But this is the start. This was all done to hook you. They don't care about your emotions. They don't care about your feelings. They just need to do anything they can to get you to stay on the app. And they've done that. This is where the trap starts. The trap is different. One for women and one for men. These traps, while interlinked, are different. We'll start with the user base of dating apps, the majority being men. A good example is the most popular dating app Tinder, where an estimated 80% of users are male and 20% are female. This imbalance shifts the dynamics heavily in favour of women. So 80% of men are competing for 20% of women. This creates a situation where there is a high demand and a low supply of women. Perfect storm, meaning women will likely get a lot of matches and likes. But see, this is the trap, known as the paradox of choice. This is when people are overwhelmed with choice and are unable to make a decision due to the anticipation of the next best thing. In this case, the next swipe, which may lead to a match better than all your current ones. This adds to the dopamine boost from all the likes and the matches, acting like a drug, keeping you coming back for more, meaning you stay on the app. This is important because the user base is predominantly male, and what keeps men on these apps? The opposite gender, so it is of intrinsic value that they stay on the app. It's like the nightclub model, where women get free entry into clubs and men have to pay, and they will knowingly pay as they know they can meet women there. They play on our very own human nature. While it's imperative they keep women on these apps, they're not the ones they make money off. Oh no, men are the ones in high supply and low demand. So, How can they manipulate this to their advantage? Once your newbie boost has worn off, this is it. This is where the app gets you. The likes have stopped coming in and the matches are trickling in. You're dismayed. What happened? You were getting all this attention, but now it's all gone. Your self-esteem takes a hit. You start wondering if there's something wrong with you. But then you get a notification. It lets you know if you pay, you boost your chances of getting matches. You hesitate. You think, do I really need it? You go online looking for tips and tricks to improve your odds of getting likes and matches. Everything from pictures to bios to how to message girls. But nothing changes. You get this notification again. This time it's more alluring. You've done everything within your power, but nothing seems to work. It says the exact same thing. Boost your chances of getting matches. You don't want to pay, but you want to experience that high again. The likes, the matches, this is it. This is how they get you. They say it's a free app, but they're a business, and a business needs to make money. So you cannot assume they have your best interest at heart. The whole experience of dating apps is set up in a certain way, to hook you in, whatever your gender may be. For one, is to keep you on the app, and for the other, is to make you pay to have access. Dating apps, they're designed to hook us, but how? They have been gamified to play on human psychology. Gamification is a process of adding games or game-like qualities to something to encourage participation. And this gamification is what occurs within dating apps.
We have some of these almost game-like elements where you almost feel like you're being rewarded. It kind of works like a slot machine where you're excited to see who the next person is, or hopefully you're even excited to see, did I get a match, and get that it's a match.
They take advantage of our reward areas in our brains to keep us on dating apps. It starts with the feeling of getting a match. They want you to get addicted to this, to the feeling of a match. And when you get a match, it gives you instant validation that someone finds you attractive. And the more matches you get, the more people find you attractive, creating this rush of adrenaline and dopamine. And this neurochemical release that comes from getting a match creates a positive attachment to the feeling of getting a match. This adds to the engineering that occurs within the app when a match occurs. A match screen pops up with big writing and a sound effect notifying you a match has occurred. This is done to make you feel like you've won something, trying to engage as many of your senses as possible, creating a sort of rush, a rush that wants to make you keep on playing. And the chase of this rush from getting matches is engineered into these apps to keep you hooked. Yet, it's not the reward of a match that keeps people coming back. It's the anticipation of a match. When a match occurs, it floods your brain with dopamine. Having unpredictable yet frequent rewards is the best way to motivate someone to keep moving forward. This is referred to as the variable ratio schedule. This is where a reward is reinforced by delivering it in an unpredictable yet frequent pattern, rather than a predictable pattern. In an experiment with pigeons, they found pigeons were more engaged when given rewards in an unpredictable pattern, rather than a predictable pattern. And once full, they carried on pecking because it was fun to play the game, even though they were no longer hungry.
Main thing is what we call schedules of reinforcement. Reinforcement is what the layman calls reward, and you can schedule it so that you don't reinforce every time. You perhaps every 10th time, or perhaps only once every minute, or something like that. One of the schedules which is very effective with rats or pigeons is what we call the variable ratio schedule. It makes it easy for us to interpret the case with the human subject.
This exact same thing occurs within dating apps.
I had several classes in college where we learned about this, from my business management courses to psych courses. I think, if I remember, it's called the variable ratio or intermittent reward schedule or something like that, where it's the having unpredictable yet frequent rewards is the best way to motivate somebody to keep moving forward.
Because you never know if a swipe will lead to a match, the human brain due to its adaptive nature, creates a feedback loop, learning to preemptively give dopamine hits when swiping due to the anticipation of a match, as it learns that swiping leads to a match, which is the cause of the release of the neurochemicals which makes us feel so good, creating a dopamine loop. This is all caused by the random reward schedule in these apps. And once this loop is created, swiping knowing a match may occur is enough to keep us swiping, as our brains love to feel good, and we want to feel good all the time. So when you get a reward, you seek out more of the same, meaning dating apps are incentivized to be addictive, as it keeps you on the app. This is seen in slot machines, where players have no way of knowing how many turns they have to play before winning. They just know one play will be a win. This is why slot machines are effective. Why quit when the next coin may be a win? And when you win, lights start flashing and sound effects can be heard, letting you know you've won. This is the very essence of dating apps, built on the same foundations as the gambling industry, designed to hook you in, keep you gambling. As we talked about earlier, getting you addicted is important, as it keeps you on the app, but it doesn't make the money, and they are a business, so making money is key. Keeping women on these apps is a necessity, as it keeps men on these apps, but men are the ones in high supply and low demand, so are not likely to get a lot of matches.
But, I consider myself a pretty good-looking man.
There are men who receive a lot of likes and matches, but this is mainly true for the top 20% of men on these apps, where 80% of the women go for the top 20% of men. This is seen again and again in dating apps. Everyone wants to find someone, but what if you're part of the bottom 80%? Game over, right? Wrong. This is where the gamification comes into play. It's a game and has a rule set, which has been created by the developers and must be followed. Rules such as how many people you are shown to, or the limited amount of swipes you get. But if you pay, you can bypass these rules. And will people pay to find love? Well, of course. It gives them an advantage in a very crowded space, especially if they're getting no matches and likes. They bypass rules by paying for certain features. These features allow people to go from A, where no matches, likes and dates occur, to B, where matches, likes and dates are more likely to occur. Rules which are enforced in the app are bypassed by paying for an advantage, meaning you have a better chance of receiving a match. Advantages such as having unlimited likes or boosts, which show you to a wider range of people than if you hadn't paid. All these features increase your chances of receiving likes and matches, as they bypass the internal rule set by the app. These apps are designed to prey upon people's loneliness and vulnerability, to get you to pay to have access to certain privileges. But do not forget, privilege always has a cost, and here it comes from your wallet. We need to talk about a company. Most of the online dating apps in the industry are owned by this app, with 5 of the top 10 dating apps owned by them. These apps include Tinder, Hinge, Plenty of Fish, OkCupid, and Match.com. You must know the company I'm talking about, the Match Group. They dominate the online dating industry, with Bumble being one of the biggest apps not owned by them, nevertheless, still having ties to them, with Bumble's founder being a co-founder of Tinder, a company owned by the Match Group. The dating app industry is worth billions and growing year on year, with revenue soaring, with 60% of the dating app industry cornered by the Match Group, providing apps for every different type of relationship, such as Tinder, which is seen as a casual dating app, or Hinge, which is seen as a relationship app. Question: a company which dominates such a big industry means it has a major influence in our life. Thus, can it be trusted? The Match Group have been alleged to use fake profiles, and in a lawsuit by the FTC, They allege Match.com used fraudulent accounts to lure non-paying users into purchasing subscriptions. And these users receive emailed ads from Match.com, encouraging them to subscribe to Match.com to view the identity of the sender and the content of the communication. This led to many consumers purchasing subscriptions because of these deceptive ads, hoping to meet a real user who might be the one. The use of bots in dating apps is nothing new, with dating apps' use of bots not a secret.
A number of dating app companies build bots on our platform for a variety of different use cases, including user onboarding, engaging users when there aren't potential matches there, and we're also aware of that happening in the industry at large with bots not built on our platform.
So, this company has a lot of information about us. As you're trying to date, a lot of personal information needs to be disclosed. But can they be trusted to protect it? When the data is going to one company who has a monopoly on the industry, is it actually safe with them? Are they actually looking out for their users? Or is it being sold? Well, they say not. But what do you think? The use of technology to help us find love has always been around, such as Videomatics for dating.
Hi, I'm Maurice. I'm an executive by day and a wild man by night.
I play guitar. Hi, I'm Fred.
Or ads online. But never has it been packaged like this before. Dating and courtship, one of the most primal human instincts, and these apps play on it, meaning the effects of these dating apps cannot be understated. Since the arrival of dating apps, we have grown more disconnected and lonelier than ever. These apps are not made for our benefit, but at the same time, they are not made for our downfall. They are made to make money, and unfortunately, to make money, it means exploiting our own psychology against us, as you are more valuable to them unhappy and single than happy and in a relationship. With people who frequently use dating apps reportedly having higher rates of social anxiety and depression. A study by the University of Texas found that dating app users reported lower self-esteem and lower physiosocial well-being than non-users.
Dating apps themselves are kind of mind-numbing, a little soul-crushing, depressing.
It is designed to keep your self-worth down.
And about one of the major reasons I deleted dating apps. One of the biggest reasons was obviously for mental health reasons.
These dating apps have created this sort of cultivation of a throwaway culture, normally seen in fast fashion, but now also in dating. This is seen in the vast array of choices when it comes to a potential partner, meaning that a less than perfect relationship will be given up due to the illusion that the grass is always greener, and therefore people disregarding a perfectly good situation in the pursuit of a more perfect match. Dating apps create this loop where your self-worth is attached to how many likes and matches you get. You are advertising yourself, so the more matches and likes you get, the bigger boost our self-worth gets. Yet, this also leads to many people's self-worth being shattered. So, do you think it's worth letting algorithms and big companies dictate your perception of your self-worth? On these apps, the picture of the person takes up most of the screen, swamping all the other information available. This was never the case in the past, where you would find information about the person, finding out what their hobbies are and what their personality is like. But in dating apps, physical appearance overtakes all that and plays a massive role, meaning this type of behaviour is encouraged and seeps into our psyche in everyday life, as you get conditioned to look for these more superficial traits. You see, dating is not meant to be this straightforward. It's meant to be challenging. It should not be dictated by some algorithm trying to simplify your likes and dislikes and show you what you want. Most people don't know what they want until they see it with their own eyes. These apps take the fun and the vigour out of dating, giving it a more superficial tone. We as humans are not meant to have access to this many people in the palms of our hands. For thousands of years, the most people we would see were the ones in our local communities, thus given sudden access to this amount of people in such a short amount of time. It's more than we have evolved to handle. You may be asking, what's the solution? That's up to you to decide. Do you want to let an algorithm recommend people to you based on data points? Or companies whose first priority is not you, the user, but the maximization of profits? Do you want them dictating your dating life? Or do you want to take control of your dating experience and go out and experience the world, seeing what type of people work for you? Put yourself out there and take control. As the more control you take, the more likely you are to get what you want. So, what is it? Your time or your relationships? What is more important? That is up to you to decide. This video may make dating apps seem evil, but you have to remember, they are a business. And if the way to maximize profits were not to do all these tricks, they would. There's no doubt dating apps have done some good, with marginalized groups having access to a larger amount of people and actually having choice, rather than being constricted to their local community. This video is made with the intent of you being informed about how these apps work, when you decide if you knowingly want to participate, as you understand the rules of the game of how dating apps work.